Welcome to round 6, and 2020 was a hell of a year. It brought us boxing in a bubble, but it also brought boxing fans great moments and great knockouts.
Santa Cruz is going to fold from his...
So on this edition of round 6, we're going to give you our top 3 moments of 2020. We have so much to go through, and so many things happened in the year, and we saw boxing in a bubble. COVID-19 was real. Some fights got canceled, some fights got pushed back, but for the most part, boxing was on over the air. I want to start with Gary Digital Williams.
Okay.
Gary, give me your top 3 boxing moments of 2020.
Well, for me, number 3 was Canelo fighting Callum Smith.
And you have Canelo 3 in your top 3.
Yeah.
And why is that?
Well, I think because of the name of Canelo. It was a good performance for him. It was a dominating performance. Number 2 was Terrence Crawford. I love the way he fought in that night.
And a thunderous finish here in Vegas, wasting no time in round 4.
My number 1 moment has to be really the only real big moment that featured the beltweight situation. That was Gervonta Davis defeating Leo Santa Cruz. It was a great moment. Davis fought a great fight. He put himself as close to the pound for pound as he could have right now. I think some people are kind of underestimating him as far as that's concerned, coming to ring rankings and all, but definitely Davis Santa Cruz number 1 for me.
My number 3 was I would have to go Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. He got annihilated. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Came in with the crazy costume on, made a lot of excuses after. And he's my friend. I met him, we spoken, but truth is the truth. I think that he got caught up in his own press clippings a little bit, and he took it too far. Instead of just really concentrating on the task at hand, he got into the entertainment aspect of it.
Can we give Tyson Fury some pub and put some respect on him? And
absolutely.
Maybe he's the best heavyweight since Lennox Lewis.
Right, he is.
I go with that.
Number 2 for me, Danny Garcia and Spence. It was a epic comeback. To come back from that car accident and to dominate in the fashion that he did. It was a complete performance all the way around. I think he could have taken it to another level if Danny Garcia would have pressed him. Danny Garcia didn't. My number 1, Gary mentioned earlier, and I got to go with Tank Davis. The way he just brutalized Leo Santa Cruz made him a pay-per-view star. I thought he was going to win, but who would expect it in that kind of fashion? Explosive, all of a sudden from nowhere. And that's what the boxing fans want to see. So he get control of his own emotions, and the maturity aspect of it kicks in. He's a serious force to be reckoned with for a long time. It's up to him.
I'm with Henry with number 3 with the Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder 2. Tyson Fury showed me a lot in the first fight, from getting up from that bombshell that Wilder landed and be able to fight his way back into that to get the draw. And then to get ready for him, knowing what Wilder had to offer coming into the second fight, he took that completely away from Wilder to be able to dominate him like he did. And to me, Wilder had no excuses for losing the way he did. Tyson Fury just did everything he needed to do to dominate him. And rounding off number 2, for me, the Leo Santa Cruz, Gervonta Davis fight, because the expectations of the type of fighter Leo Santa Cruz was coming into that fight, we knew that he was going to use a rangy jab. But like I said, if he gets into what he's known to do as be a slugger, he's going to lose, and that's exactly what he did, and Gervonta was waiting on it. He kept throwing that uppercut until he landed, and when he landed it, fight was over, The number 1 fight for me was Vasily Lomachenko fighting Teofimo Lopez. And with that fight, I wasn't expecting that fight to be the way it was with the dominating performance that Lopez put on. I give him the dominating performance because the way he started out with the body work. It was the body work that actually took all the energy and all the fight out of Lomachenko. And when Lomachenko felt that power, he was very hesitant up until he knew he was losing a fight later on to try to land some shots, which he did. He landed some shots on Lopez that really shook Lopez a little bit. But Lopez was just truly dominating in that thing. And even after getting caught, he fought his way through the final round to just, win unanimously on every guard.
I had in my top three, two actual candidates for fights of the year. The first one I thought about was Verdejo versus Nakatani. Talking about a battle that started off where Felix Verdejo was actually dominating the fight and even knocked down Nakatani. But somewhere over the course of that battle, the momentum and changed in the favor of Nakatani, and he ended up not only dropping Verdejo later on in the fight, but also actually stopping him in what I thought was an action-packed fight. I had picked High Tech to actually deliver what I said at the time would be a High Tech ass whipping of the young man. But boy, was I wrong about that. The kid showed up, showed out, was not scared, and like Juan said, went to the body early and really did serious damage to Lomachenko and his plans, whatever they were, to take him to deep water and then try to deal with him then. In terms of my number two moment of the year 2020, I went with the boxing knockouts that made an impression upon me. Talking about the serious left uppercut that just crushed Leo Santa Cruz, and just it was just a devastating punch.
It's just going a bit, the legs slower, take nothing away from a valiant one shot from Alexander Povetkin, and he's knocked Dillian White cold here.
He hit him with the same punch that Tank Davis hit Santa Cruz with, and just destroyed him. It was just an unbelievable punch, and I'm not sure that I've ever seen anything as devastating as that, for quite a while. This country just had an election last month, and in it, we actually 81 plus million voters actually sent a message to our current president, Donald J. Trump. A resounding message that we don't want that second term. So I'm going to give my top politically boxing moment to the Biden-Harris ticket for defeating Donald Trump and Mike Pence.
And the scoring was correct in that fight as well.
No question about it. No question about it. It ended up being a unanimous decision.
So there will be no need for any commissions to go back and check the scoring.
All right.
The scoring was proper.
No question about it.
So my number three is really Errol Spence coming back from that car wreck. That car wreck was spectacular. He's thrown from the car. He is literally blessed to be alive, and for him to have that kind of performance. And Digital said, you want to see if he was gun shy. Could Garcia put the pressure on him to see if he could take a punch? It never happened. Garcia couldn't even get off. Spence was that dominant. So my number three moment goes to Errol Spence. Number two, and we touched on a little bit earlier, I was really impressed with what Tyson Fury did. And I'll tell you another thing about Tyson Fury, and I think this is why I really like him, though, because he has the bravado of the heavyweights, right? He has that bravado. He said, I'm going to put more weight on. I'm going to walk him down. I'm going to walk through him, and I'm going to knock him out. And so all of us are like, that's not going to happen. That's just what he did.
I think that Anthony Joshua will stay away from him until he knows that's that super mega purse, where if he loses that fight, he can say, well, I'm not going to fight anymore because there's nothing left to do.
And it's coming. And it needs to happen. He
He really
deserves it.
does. For the sport and for the division to get the luster back to the heavyweights, that two Englishmen,
Mhm.
In Wembley Stadium.
in Wembley Stadium,
Exactly.
and the natives would be restless.
Yep.
You know, it would turn it out. It would turn out, and we'd all want to check that out as well. And then number one, what Teofimo Lopez did to Lomachenko was shocking.
Mhm.
I mean, we all respect Lomachenko,
Yep.
and he's my pound for pound guy. And I thought Lopez would show well, but I'm like, there's no way he can beat Lomachenko. Not only did he beat him, he kind of beat him up, you know. And for a young man on that platform, that big platform, and I think that was the biggest fight of the year for sure. The biggest name recognition, the biggest bells and whistles to go along with it. So for him to come through like that with that kind of dominant performance, I give Teofimo Lopez my number one spot on my top 3 of 2020. We have been picking fights on a thread, all of us, and we've been keeping score. And we have a final tally for 2020. Left Jab Lamont, would you like to do the honors?
Absolutely. I appreciate it, Stick and Move. As you said, we've been keeping track all year. And in 6th place, my man Eric Skinner with 168.5 points. Ahead of him in 5th place was Hovind Stick and Move Underwood with a total of 273 points. 4th place, great showing. Gary Digital Williams clocks in with 287 total points. Ahead of him in 3rd place, top 3, Juan Blogger Guy Marshall in at 320 points. Right above him, 2nd place, Left Jab Lamont, yours truly, whopping 329.5 points, but wasn't quite good enough because the winner of our first annual Pick and Stick Boxing Prediction Challenge was Henry Discombobulating Jones with a grand total of 347 points. Congratulations, DJ. I tried to get at you.
Good job, Henry.
Great job, buddy.
You were
Great job.
accurate all year, consistent all year, man, and you deserve it. Congratulations, sir.
Appreciate it. Took all you can muster to say that too. I see it.
It sounded like it hurt a little bit.
I'm not denying that one bit. Love you too.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay?
Boxing fans have never seen a black ring announcer before. Most have never seen me, and I've been doing it for 33 years, and it certainly has not been coincidence why there's been a lack of black ring announcers because of the things I've been through, and documented of the things I've been through lets me know it's just not happenstance. It just bewilders me why they're afraid of a black man holding a microphone in the middle of the ring announcing fights. You know, I've been kicked to the curb for unknown persons. Now, my mentor is Michael Buffer, Let's Get Ready to Rumble guy. I've announced numerous undercards for he and Jimmy Lennon Jr. Those two are we would consider the top 2 ring announcers in boxing, in the history of boxing, modern day history anyway. And so I have no problem with working with them. If a network wants to come to town and showcase fighters and tell me that they're bringing in Buffer or Lennon, I have no problem with that. I do have a problem with them bringing in unknown guys over me and me doing the undercard for them when they in essence should be doing undercards for me. That's what I have a problem with. And that's what it's been for 33 years. I've tried to be a mentor over the years to persons to come on board, but everybody wants to just jump in the ring and get on the microphone. It doesn't work like that. You know, you have to serve a apprenticeship, internship. You have to show that you're really serious about it. My first maybe 5 years, I would go to fights up and down the East Coast for free, to announce for free, you know, just to get the experience and the exposure. Don't worry about the money. You know, I would get the experience and exposure working undercards for Michael Buffer. You know, he saw my sincerity about the passion for it, and that's what you got to have. I would meet the fighters, meet their trainers, their promoters, read all the magazines on it, look at all the fights on TV, even ones on the Spanish channel, because if it's important enough for them to put it on, it's important enough for me to watch it. You know, just to absorb all the knowledge that I could about the game. And, you know, that's what tells me that you're serious about it. I never found anybody to go to those lengths like I did. And so I wasn't going to reward somebody just because they thought they had a great voice or had a good look or, you know, just thought they were good on the microphone. No, it's much more than that. I've gotten promoters on board to endorse a reality show proposal that I have that I'm pitching called Finding My Successor. Because as I said, I don't have 33 more years. So I'm looking for persons to replace me. And the promoters are on board with it. So the premise of it is cities that I go to announce, I'm going to have open auditions for ring announcers, male, female, you know, whatever persuasion. So you can imagine the hilarity that's going to ensue. I'm not going to discriminate against anybody like they've been discriminating against me. And of course, all this will generate revenue and ratings. And so it's not a down side to this thing. Matter of fact, persons that we don't select, I'm going to use my social work skill set to see if I can help them in some other aspects. So they might end up with a job. They might end up with counseling. They might end up with some resources that's needed just for them. So it's going to be a win-win situation for everybody with this thing. So I think that I know that my time is here now with what's coming up in 2021 with the opportunities in front of me. So I'm going to take full advantage of it, and I'm going to bring as many people along with me as I can, because certainly a strong tide floats all boats. That's my philosophy. So I'm going to empower as many people as I can while I can.
And that's going to do it for round 6 in 2020. We will see you back in 2021 with more analysis and more fun. Always repping the DMV. Thanks for joining us.